Hey everybody, welcome back. We're taking a slight detour from the vlog of M3 today to start a series that's been on my heart for kind of a while now. I think the best way to go about this is to tell you guys a little story. When I was 15, I actually started playing guitar. And somewhere around that time is when I got my first electric guitar, and I got my first a guitar pedal, a guitar effects pedal. And I got my first amp and all that kind of stuff. Also around that time is when I got my first computer. It was a $100 like spare computer that my uncle got from like his job or something. It was just kind of a crappy little computer and he didn't really have anything to do with it. So he sold it to me for $100. I used this computer so much that I still remember the specifications. It had a 700 megahertz processor and it had a 10 gig hard drive. And at the time that really wasn't too bad. Just imagine that. Now there was this one time when I was kind of jamming out and I started looking on my computer and stuff and I saw that it had a headphone jack, but it had a microphone symbol on it. And I'm like, I bet I could plug something into this and record it. So basically it dawned on me that I could plug my guitar pedal into my computer. So after I did that, I tried to find a program on my computer that I could record with, and lo and behold, I found a program called Sound Recorder. Now I don't even know if newer versions of Windows have like something that's similar to this, but Sound Recorder is the most basic sound recording program you can possibly have. It's basically the MS Paint of like sound programs. And so after messing with this for a while, I pretty much came up with some songs and stuff and actually recorded them with Sound Recorder and made my first album. I named my first album Iconoclast, and I think it got done in about a month. And that, my friends, is the story of how I began recording music when I was 15 years old. And so I've been doing that the entire time, and as of right now I have 9 complete albums where it's all stuff that I played and sang and all that kind of stuff and wrote everything and even did the artwork. And I'm kind of in the middle of working on one that's about 3/4 done, so once that's done I'll have 10 albums. So for a while now I've had the idea of releasing some of this back catalog of stuff via song videos. And my YouTube channel's starting to do kind of good, so I figured it's kind of the right time to do that. Now what most people do is they'll just like put the song on a slide in a video and just play the song, and they'll never really talk about very much about, you know, how they wrote it and what was going through their mind and what it means and what was happening at the time. They'll just kind of put it out there without any kind of explanation, and I just didn't want to really do that. I really slave over and refine my music, so I kind of wanted to do the same thing with releasing song videos. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna release song videos, and beforehand I'm gonna give you a little intro to tell you a little bit about it, and that's what we're gonna do today. I can't say. So we're gonna start with the most recent album I came out with, which was called Former Glory. And we're gonna begin with the first song off that album and just continue down the line until we get to the last one. Might as well be systematic about it. The name of this song is called A Chance Encounter. As is usually the case with my albums, it was definitely the most ambitious thing I had ever tried to do up to that point. I actually just listened to this song right before filming this, and really, it just kind of reminds me of how passionately I just meticulously went through and just made sure everything was perfect. The way I write music is a little different than like what the average person might do. What I do is I make sure that every single part of every song is the absolute best thing I could possibly come up with. And if I don't feel that way, I mean, I've deleted whole halves of songs or like deleted whole songs before just because I didn't think it was the absolute best thing I could do. And that definitely applies to this song, A Chance Encounter. Like, there was actually an entire song that was before this song that was gonna be part of it, but it just got deleted. It was literally like a 2-minute song and it had singing and stuff, and then what became the opening riff to A Chance Encounter kind of like came at the end of that. And I just decided to get rid of all the stuff before it because it just seemed like a little bit, I don't know, unnecessary. I definitely want to talk a little bit more about the technical aspects of the song, but I want to sort of take a moment to talk a little bit about like lyrically what this is about. Lyrically, there's kind of a lot in this song, but one of the main themes is that, you know, I was kind of getting out in the world for sort of the first time in my life and really starting to discover that there were pretty big sections of people out there that just didn't really care about the things that I care about. I'm not really like a perfectionist in all parts of my life, but when it comes to art and music and things like that, what I really like is I like to listen to things that it just seemed like somebody really cared about. There was a lot of music that I was kind of raised on, but if I think about, like, just to take one example, you know, like Simon and Garfunkel, if you actually read like Simon and Garfunkel lyrics, these are not lyrics that were just thrown together for the most part. Like, these are things that they just really wanted to dial in on what they were trying to say and just find the best way to convey that. And in so many things in life, just a lot of people really don't care about that. So lyrically, that's where it was coming from, but also at the same time, it was like I made the decision internally that I was gonna try to pursue this anyway. Even though like what I was doing and just wanting to just be the absolute best I can be, even though that's kind of a hard path to take, I just really didn't care, and I just decided that within myself that I was gonna work however hard I had to work to pursue that. And it's really kind of a fitting way to start this album off because like that's kind of how I approached recording it. So that's a lot of the lyrical, emotional context of this song, but I also want to touch really quickly on a couple of the technical music things in the song. Former Glory is an album that has a lot of electric mandolin on it, and it also has some normal sort of acoustic mandolin. And this song really has a decent little bit of both. Basically, anytime on Former Glory when you hear something that sounds like kind of a high-pitched electric guitar or a high-pitched like 12-string or acoustic guitar, that's generally my mandolin. On A Chance Encounter, there's really a couple of mandolin moments I'm really, really proud of. There's the part that goes dun 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 dun. That's actually a rhythm that I'd been meaning to use in a song for like several albums, but it never really felt right until this moment. Another thing after a few listens you might start to notice about this song is it doesn't actually have a chorus. It's got kind of a verse section, and it's got some things that sort of weave their way in throughout the song, but that's very purposeful, and it's not because like I started out with a traditional song structure and then wanted to make it less traditional. It's actually totally the opposite. I actually have entire albums where nothing repeats. Like there's no chorus that repeats in any song. Like there aren't verses and choruses. There's just one part, then another part, then another part. So that's where this is coming from for me, and I actually kind of wanted to reintroduce recurring parts, but I didn't want to just do it in a normal way where you just repeat it exactly like it was before. Generally speaking, what I like to do in my music when I repeat a part is I like to at least change part of it. Like I kind of want the meat and potatoes to still be there, but sometimes I'll change the bass line, I'll usually change the beat or something. I mean, sometimes I'll change everything but just leave the vocals exactly the same. And it's just like, I don't know, that's just one of my unique things. Also, lastly, kind of the main riff that gets repeated a bunch of times, that's kind of a picking arpeggio type thing. It wasn't actually written to be in 4/4. It was meant to be like a whole bunch of little time signature changes added together. But then when I got done writing it, I just noticed it was in 4/4. So it's like inadvertently in a normal timing. The way the timing was originally meant to be interpreted in that riff was like dun 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 dun. But all those add up to 16, I think, so it just ended up being like 4/4 like normal. The name of this song is called A Chance Encounter.
Said than that. just a